Are you kidding me right now? What we just witnessed backstage at Monday Night Raw has left the entire WWE universe in complete shock, and honestly, I'm struggling to even comprehend what just went down. Roman Reigns, the man who calls himself the tribal chief, the so-called head of the table, was just rushed to a local medical facility after what can only be described as the most brutal and unexpected attack we've seen in years. And here's the part that's going to make your blood boil: it wasn't some random backstage brawl, it wasn't a planned segment, and it sure as hell wasn't scripted entertainment. Nia Jax, WWE's self-proclaimed irresistible force, just crossed a line that has never been crossed before in professional wrestling history. What she did to Roman Reigns tonight wasn't just an attack, it was an attempted annihilation of everything the Bloodline represents. You think you know what happened? You think you saw everything on your TV screen? Let me tell you something right now: what WWE showed you was nothing compared to what really went down behind those curtains. The footage I'm about to break down for you will change everything you thought you knew about this situation, and trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be demanding answers just like the rest of us. For months, we've watched Roman Reigns dominate every single superstar who dared to challenge his authority. The man has been virtually untouchable since his return to WWE. Seth Rollins couldn't stop him, Drew McIntyre got demolished, even Brock Lesnar couldn't put him down permanently. Roman has been walking around backstage like he owns the place, which, let's be honest, he basically does, treating everyone like they're beneath him. But Nia Jax? She just proved that nobody is untouchable in this business. Nobody. What started as a simple backstage interview segment turned into absolute chaos when Nia Jax appeared out of nowhere. And I mean nowhere. Security footage that WWE doesn't want you to see shows that Nia had been lurking in the shadows for over 20 minutes, just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. This wasn't some spontaneous outburst of emotion, this was calculated, this was planned, and this was designed to send Roman Reigns to the hospital. Here's what WWE doesn't want you to know: multiple backstage sources are telling me that Roman Reigns was completely blindsided by what happened. The man who prides himself on reading every situation, who claims to be 5 steps ahead of everyone else, didn't see this coming at all. When Nia Jax emerged from behind those production trucks, Roman actually froze. The tribal chief froze. And what Nia did next? It's going to go down as one of the most savage moments in WWE history. She didn't just attack Roman, she dismantled everything he represents. That Samoan drop she hit him with on the concrete floor? That wasn't just a wrestling move, that was a statement. That was Nia Jax telling the entire Bloodline that their reign of terror just came to a violent end. But here's where things get really disturbing, and this is why WWE medical staff immediately called for emergency transport. When Roman hit that concrete, something went wrong. Seriously wrong. Eyewitnesses backstage are reporting that Roman wasn't moving for several minutes after the impact. Paul Heyman was screaming for help, Jimmy Uso was nowhere to be found, and Uso was apparently in complete shock, just standing there staring at his cousin laid out on the floor. The paramedics who arrived on scene, and trust me, WWE tried to keep this quiet, immediately went into emergency protocol mode. We're talking neck braces, spine boards, the full medical response. This wasn't your typical wrestling injury where someone gets up and walks to the back 5 minutes later. Roman Reigns was unconscious for over 8 minutes before he finally started responding to medical personnel. And where was Nia Jax during all of this medical emergency? She was standing there laughing. Multiple witnesses confirmed that Nia was actually enjoying watching Roman get loaded into that ambulance. She was making jokes about how the head of the table was now the head of the gurney. The woman showed absolutely zero remorse for what she had done. But wait, it gets even more twisted. Sources close to the situation are telling me that this attack wasn't just about Nia Jax having issues with Roman Reigns. There's apparently been weeks of backstage tension between the women's division and the Bloodline that WWE has been desperately trying to cover up. Multiple female superstars have reportedly filed complaints about how Roman and his cousins have been treating the women backstage. Rhea Ripley was allegedly threatened by Roman's security team after she refused to move her workout equipment from his area of the gym. Bianca Belair supposedly had her championship celebration cut short because Roman needed the backstage area for a Bloodline meeting. Even Bayley was reportedly told that she couldn't use certain interview areas because they were reserved for tribal chief business. The women's locker room has been seething about this for months, and Nia Jax just became their spokesperson in the most violent way possible. Now here's the part that's going to absolutely infuriate you: what happened at the hospital is even more shocking than the attack itself. Roman Reigns was taken to Metropolitan General Hospital, where he underwent immediate CT scans and neurological evaluations. But while Roman was getting medical attention, guess who showed up unannounced at the hospital? Nia Jax. That's right, the woman who put Roman in the hospital had the absolute audacity to show up at his bedside. Hospital security footage shows Nia walking through the emergency department like she owned the place, demanding to see Roman's room number. When nurses tried to stop her, she reportedly became aggressive and started making threats about what would happen if they didn't let her finish what she started. Paul Heyman, who was already at the hospital waiting for updates on Roman's condition, completely lost his mind when he saw Nia approaching Roman's room. Witnesses say Paul started screaming at hospital security, demanding they arrest Nia for assault. But here's the kicker, Nia had apparently spoken to WWE's legal team and somehow convinced them that this was all part of a storyline development that got out of hand. Are you serious right now? A storyline development. Roman Reigns is in a hospital bed with a potential concussion, and WWE's legal team is trying to pass this off as entertainment. This is exactly why fans are losing faith in this company. They're willing to sacrifice their biggest star's health just to create controversy, but what happened next in that hospital room is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about Nia Jax as a person. When she finally got into Roman's room, and I still don't understand how hospital security allowed this to happen, she didn't apologize. She didn't show any remorse. Instead, she reportedly stood over Roman's hospital bed and delivered what can only be described as the most brutal verbal assault in WWE history. Multiple sources confirm that Nia told the barely conscious Roman Reigns that his time as the head of the table was over, that the women's division was done being disrespected, and that what happened in that parking lot was just the beginning of her campaign to destroy everything he had built. She allegedly threatened to target every member of the Bloodline until Roman publicly apologized for his backstage behavior. Roman, who was still dealing with the effects of his head injury, reportedly tried to sit up in his hospital bed to confront Nia, but the medical equipment in his condition made it impossible. Witnesses say it was one of the most heartbreaking things they'd ever seen. This man, who has dominated WWE for years, reduced to being helpless in a hospital bed while his attacker stood over him making threats. Paul Heyman was apparently recording everything on his phone, promising that WWE would see justice for what Nia had done. But get this, when Paul tried to post the footage on social media, his accounts were mysteriously suspended within minutes. Someone with serious power doesn't want this story getting out to the WWE universe. Here's what's really going to blow your mind. Hospital sources are now confirming that Roman Reigns' injuries are far more serious than WWE is letting on. We're not just talking about a simple concussion here. Roman has reportedly suffered significant trauma that could potentially affect his in-ring career for months, possibly even permanently. And Nia Jax? She's apparently been in contact with other wrestling promotions, hinting that her WWE career might be coming to an end anyway. Multiple industry insiders are reporting that Nia has been negotiating with AEW, New Japan, and even some independent promotions, suggesting that this attack on Roman was her way of going out with the biggest possible impact. The WWE universe deserves answers about what really happened here. This isn't just about Roman Reigns or Nia Jax anymore. This is about the safety of every superstar in that locker room. If WWE is allowing personal grudges to escalate into legitimate hospitalizations, then none of our favorite wrestlers are safe. Roman Reigns is currently listed in stable condition, but he's expected to remain hospitalized for at least another 48 hours for observation. The Bloodline has reportedly been placed under extra security protection, with WWE officials fearing that Nia might target Jimmy and Uso next. This story is far from over, and I promise you that I will continue investigating every angle until we get the full truth about what happened in that parking lot and that hospital room. The WWE universe deserves nothing less than complete transparency about this shocking incident that has rocked our entire wrestling world. What do you think about Nia Jax's actions? Was this justified payback for months of Bloodline disrespect, or did she cross a line that should never be crossed in professional wrestling? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you smash that like button and share this video with every wrestling fan you know. They need to see what really happened to Roman Reigns.